Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
Let's talk about financial serenity. That is really what it's all about, right? Peace of mind, enjoying that lifestyle we all deserve. And you know what? Lifestyle is really what it's all about. It's not about money. It's not about financials all the time. Those things fund our life. That's what's most important. We save, we accumulate, we grow our assets. We want to retire one day. We try to make good financial decisions throughout our lifespan, throughout our working years to fund a successful goal of enjoying our lifestyle. There's a balancing act we all have to do. We have to balance decisions we make today that we want to do to enjoy what we're doing while we're working, but we also have to make sure we save for that fun in the future. That fun in the future we all deserve, right? I love my job, but future Chris also needs to enjoy himself too. So we need to make sure future Chris has a retirement plan. Future Chris needs to have some fun as well, right? Now my retirement plan is easy. I love my job, right? It's easy. I get to talk to people and help them plan for their future all the time, but we can't always do that forever. We have to make sure our future is set up as well. We need to make good financial decisions, but we have to enjoy it and do it for fun. Fun is really what it's all about. I talk about finances, but I talk about finances and fun because ultimately, if I don't understand what we want to do, why we want to do it, have the fun that we want to do, what makes us tick, I can't understand our expenses. If I can't understand our expenses, how can I plan for a financial future? Financial future is really about the expenses. It's about the lifestyle we live. Everyone has a different lifestyle. Everyone has a different expense path. We have to make sure we get that set up first. Now, there's a lot of ways you can enjoy your life, right? There's a lot of things you can do, but it's important to have fun doing it. I've never met a single person that just wants to work every day, go to work every single day until the day they pass away and not save a dime for their future and their future fun. Most of us think we need to pay our future self a little bit, right? Set aside something for the future. It's important. There's some of us that love what we do. I'm fortunate. I do. I love what I do. I don't have a retirement date, but you know what? That doesn't mean I don't think about the future. Doesn't mean I don't save for the future. We have to. But we also want to enjoy it. We want to have fun today. And that's where that balancing act comes into play. So have some fun. Get out there. Enjoy what you do. Set up goals. Do little things like creating memories, right? Taking some trips. Getting out there and enjoying the outdoors. So I'm a major fan of just enjoying things that we have in our community. I love getting outside. I don't do it enough. Right? I'm a busy guy, but I love riding my bike. I'm a big time cyclist. I love getting out there on my bicycle and having a great time on the local trails. Used to do a lot of more competitive riding and things like that on the road. Did a lot of Ironman distance triathlon back in the day. I say back in the day because I just got a Facebook message reminding me that 9 years ago I did Ironman Louisville. That was a lot of fun at the time. I'm retired from that though. That is one thing I am officially retired from. I won't do another one of those. But I enjoyed those kind of things, and it's a good thing to enjoy those things you're passionate about. Have some fun, stay active, because we need to be healthy too. We need to make sure we can enjoy and be around and to live our lives, right? And getting out there and enjoying the community and the things that we have are so, so important. And fortunately, we have a lot of good things in this area, in the St. Louis area, right here in our own backyard, and not all of them cost money. There's a lot of things you can do. We have so many great parks. We have so many great trails in this area. And believe it or not, the community is trying to develop more and more. So get out there, enjoy those trails. And our next guest is going to give us a little bit of insight into how you can figure out what's going on in our community and how you can make sure you're engaged.
You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
October is estate planning month. It's an important
Chris,
topic.
And if you are worried about the risk of rising taxes,
what happens after
would like
we
to keep
pass
your
away.
fair share,
What happens?
And reduce your partnership
Something
with the
happens to
IRS,
us and we cannot
I'd like
make
to send you a
decisions
copy
for
of my
ourselves.
latest book,
Well,
The
folks,
New
you have
Holistic
to have
Retirement.
these conversations.
You deserve
while
a
you
holistic
can.
and
Because if
complete
you don't
retirement
have these
plan.
conversations,
So why wait? Get on the path
somebody
to
has a
financial
plan for
serenity.
you.
All you have to
know
do
who it
is request
It's
this
either
book
the
today.
government.
Get your free
or maybe
copy
it's a
of
family
Chris's
member that
latest book,
hasn't had
The
this
New Holistic
conversation with you.
Retirement, at
So if you don't talk about this
SerenityNowTax.com. That's
with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones,
SerenityNowTax.com.
you don't put those plans into place, the government's going to have a plan for you. You got to have these conversations. It's important. We have these conversations all year long, but with October being estate planning month, we are hosting a workshop on Tuesday, the 22nd, Thursday, the 24th, over at Stone Summit Steak and Seafood, estate planning and tax mitigation strategies. Very important topics. We're going to talk about wills. We're going to talk about trusts. We're going to talk about advanced directives. We're going to talk about tax mitigation strategies, how to preserve and protect your legacy. Our financial goals outlive us. Make sure you attend. Join us. The information is right there on our website, SerenityWealthNow.com. That is SerenityWealthNow.com.
Serenity Now! Hi, it's Vic Porcelli. You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper on 101.9 and 94.1 NewsTalk STL.
All right, so in studio with me right now, we've got Brad Kovach of Terrain Magazine, publisher, the man in charge over at Terrain. Brad, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love talking about terrain and the outdoor environment we have in the St. Louis area. And there's a lot going on always. And I know you know a lot about that. We're going to get into that. But help our listeners understand a little bit more about what Terrain's all about and really how you guys came to be.
Sure. We're a 10-year-old magazine. We're based here in St. Louis. So all of our content, all the articles are all about outdoors in the local area. So you're not going to hear about Colorado in our magazine. We're going to talk about Missouri, Southern Illinois, maybe a little bit of Northwest Arkansas, but places you can go, things you can do, people you can know in the outdoors in our area, which is
in our St. Louis area. And there's a ton going on always in this area. We have a lot of cool things that our communities offer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have great resources, which is one of the reasons that we did start the magazine. We didn't create the parks. We didn't create the rivers, the hills, all of that sort of stuff. We just want to talk about it and let people know that it's out there because it's been there forever. But St. Louis doesn't really talk about it all that much.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to do that.
Yeah, well, and you don't hear a lot of just news just about that either, right? I mean, you hear about other different things, but what I think is so fun about the publication you guys do, which is every other month, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, and it always is about a different topic about how you can get out there and enjoy the community you're a part of. So.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are some of the favorite trails you like to be a part of, or you like to, because I know you're a big mountain biker. We get to ride quite a bit. So what are some of your favorite trails and experiences in the St. Louis area?
For sure. Yeah. I love the fact that we connect on that level. Yeah. My favorite, honestly, is Matson Trail, which is here in St. Charles County out on 94. They've added to that recently. I think they built 5 or 6 new trails, downhill trails as part of that system. It's just an amazing trail.
My favorite trail system as well, for sure, on a bike.
Awesome.
We also have some good hiking trails as well.
We do. Yeah. I'm fortunate. I live more in the St. Louis County Baldwin area. I'm right by Castlewood. So that's a fun park. It does get a little crowded on weekends. But there's just a ton of trails around the county, which is amazing.
And it's not always hard trails either. So there's something for everybody, I think, in the St. Louis area, right?
Oh yeah, one of the hallmarks of the area is the Katy Trail.
Right.
You're not going to get more accessible and user friendly than that. I mean, it's straight for 240 miles to Kansas City, or I think it's 240 miles, but I mean, you get out there on a bike, run it, bike it, hike it, whatever you want. It's great.
And there's a lot of cool stops along the way as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of fun events in this area as well, all centered around Katy Trail and things like that. I know one of the events that you guys do a lot with is actually the Missouri 340, which is on the river.
Yeah, correct. So we are a partner organization with a group called Big Muddy Adventures, which is an outfitter, a guide, canoe guide service, basically. And they're a big sponsor of that race. So we're always a part of it. And yeah, it's amazing. I mean, imagine, hopping in a canoe on a Tuesday in Kansas City, and then on Thursday, or maybe Friday, depending on your speed, of course, you're pulling your canoe out in St. Charles. I mean, it's 340 miles on a river that can be challenging. It's not fast, it's not rapids, but it's hot. You're not stopping other than to take your occasional break. And you're just slogging through there.
That seems like a long way to paddle.
It does.
A canoe.
For me personally, it's probably not in probably not on the bucket list. But God bless people who do it.
Yeah, well, I think that you finished that race. You probably smell pretty good.
I'm sure.
So, and I know plenty of people that have done it, and they smelled. Yeah, they didn't think they smelled very good.
No, I'm sure.
That's a lot of work. That's a whole heck of a lot of work.
Absolutely.
So some of the things that you guys have going on, and there's always something in this community to offer. And I think what's the big message that you guys have?
We want outdoors for all.
Yeah.
It's kind of our tagline or message, if you want to call it that. We mentioned a little bit off air a second ago, whether you're a kid who lives in downtown St. Louis or whether you're a rural farmer out in the county or even, further west into the state, we want you to be safe, welcome, just happy to be outside and know how to do that and where to do that and the people and groups to engage with.
Sure.
So that's really what we do at Terrain.
Nice. And I'll tell you that we really do. And I've hit on this several times already. We have so much to offer in this area and people don't realize that. But if you're part of the community, realize that no matter where you are, from the city all the way out to Troy and beyond, you really have a lot of places that are very unique in this area to go and enjoy the outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we have a lot of great groups. When we started the magazine, again, I'm always quick to say we didn't create anything. It was already here. We created the magazine, but not the community and the culture. There are a lot of groups that already existed, whether it's trail runners, mountain bikers, road runners, cyclists, whatever. We're just hoping to kind of connect the dots for people.
Sure.
So that if you are new to the community, I'd like to try trail running. Maybe I should talk to this group that I saw in Terrain magazine, or maybe I should try this trail that I saw in the magazine. So yeah, we're just out there, working the levers a little bit, connecting the dots for people so that hopefully they learn something in each issue and then they go out and give it a try.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think you guys don't just focus on, it's not like it's a cycling magazine or a hiking magazine, running magazine. It's really everything, including paddling.
Yeah,
right?
Correct. We've even done stories on skydiving.
That's not on my bucket list.
No,
right there.
wakeboarding, which isn't exactly everyone's first thought when they think outdoor recreation. But, point is we try to cover a wide breadth of information in the magazine.
Yeah. No, and I know we have a lot of common folks that are in our circle that do even rock climbing in the area as well. Right. So that's kind of the bigger deal growing around here as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. There's been a lot of momentum lately with rock climbing, I'd say in the last 2 or 3 years. Eastern Climbers Association, Eastern Missouri Climbers Association, is very active in this area and have been doing a great job of getting some new routes and new areas opened up for climbing.
That's pretty neat. Just get outside, enjoy the area, enjoy the life you have. It's beautiful out here. So
absolutely.
Very cool. So talk to me. We talked a little bit about and specifically, we were talking a little bit about paddling and things. There's some cool projects in the kind of pipeline here that are coming to this area. And we talked a little bit about connecting communities. A lot of the things that I'm reading are actually about connecting communities and making sure that we have an access from one place to another without using vehicles. And I think that's always fun. So what's going on in the city and the surrounding communities that are kind of connecting things to other different areas?
Yeah, that's definitely a big focus, I think. Ecosystem-wise, economy-wise, people have finally realized that outdoor recreation is an economy, it's an industry.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hate to throw around those terms because it makes it sound so businessy, which can take you out of the aspect of just loving to be outside. But if we're speaking,
someone's got to pay for this stuff.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to say, right?
Absolutely.
It's always about money at some point.
It is, and the benefits of it too.
Absolutely.
So one such project going on now is the Brick Line Greenway, which is happening downtown, taking shape. That's a project of Great Rivers Greenway, and so the ultimate idea is to connect Gateway Arch National Park to Forest Park on the east-west axis, and then north to south. I think it's going to go up to Fairgrounds Park, and I'm not sure where on the south end, probably Tower Grove area. But, to build this connector that not only helps people commute to work and things like that, but actually building up the corridor there and maybe getting some businesses and on the outskirts of the trail and just really trying to activate that corridor that right now is old railway and could really use some help. So it's
absolutely
it's beneficial on a number of levels.
Well, people want to live, work, play all in a park type of an atmosphere. And I think if you can connect those dots to those kind of places and still, you mentioned, even commuting, it's not easy to commute to work in the St. Louis area without a vehicle.
Right.
And connecting these trails opened up many options that are much more enjoyable to do than sitting through stoplights and people getting yelled at, when you're on your bike and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So
there's safety
really nice
to think about too.
Absolutely.
I mentioned earlier, Indianapolis has a similar trail. It's called the Cultural Trail, I believe. And very similar to what the Brick Line might look like. And, home values, property values along that corridor have just skyrocketed. So, again, it is reality that we're creating economy here as well. So that's something that downtown could certainly use.
Absolutely. And I think that there's also projects that are going on throughout the area as well. I know that there's a ton of them going out in my neck of the woods in St. Charles County that are connecting places like Bush Wildlife over through to, even down to St. Charles and even to the Katy Trail at some point in time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, agreed. St. Charles is doing a great job. They really are. One that we talked about a little bit earlier was the Darden Creek Blueway.
Yeah,
I keep wanting to say Greenway.
That's because there's Greenway is people understand that's some type of trail system. Blueway, I'm thinking is different color, so it probably means something different. I'm going to assume water. Am I right?
You are correct.
Nice.
So, if you think about your typical greenway or just a trail, trail is an easier way to maybe think about it if greenway kind of throws you off. But it's a water trail that I believe there's going to be 3 phases, maybe 4, when it's all said and done. 2 phases have already been built. I want to say, the first 2 phases are about 10 or 12 miles each. It's essentially a trail with markers and waypoints so that you won't get lost. It helps you, along the way. Maybe has some waypoints that have some special interest, whether that's a natural flora and fauna or maybe a historic interest. But you can stop along the way and check those out. But really, it's just a nice way to get people out in a different experience than hiking or biking on a regular terrestrial trail.
Switching it up a little bit.
Absolutely,
right?
and
it's active in different ways.
Yeah, I think it's the first one in the area, if I'm not mistaken. So I just think that's really cool.
Which is weird because we have St. Louis area, there's just so many things. I mean, even Lewis and Clark expedition stuff. There was a lot of that with the water right there. I mean, we have a lot of water with the St. Louis community. So it's just, but you don't hear about that anymore.
No. And again, I just think it's a neat take on the creativity of the folks over at the Parks Department here, bringing that up. So
pretty neat. Yeah. So very cool. Now, I know Terrain does a really good job at highlighting these kind of activities and these groups in the area. I also know that you've got a pretty big thing coming up in the St. Charles County area upcoming in November. So talk a little bit about the upcoming expo.
Yeah, I'd love to, of course. Gateway Outdoor Expo. It's November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's at the St. Charles Convention Center. And, essentially it's what you might think from the title. It's a big outdoor expo. Mm-hmm. So we'll have around 200 booths, vendors everywhere from, outdoor retailers like bike shops, shoe retailers and whatnot. And then, on the other end of the spectrum, maybe it's parks and recs departments that are just wanting to distribute information about their different assets.
Talking a little bit about what they got coming up, right?
Exactly. Talking about their programs and projects and that sort of stuff.
Very neat.
So, it runs all between those two spectrums, if you will. And then we build in a lot of attractions and activities. So we'll have a rock climbing wall. We'll have a mountain biking trial zone where you can come out and hop on a bike and hit some man-made obstacles, little ramps, rumble strips, that kind of stuff to give you a little idea of what mountain biking is like in an indoor safe environment. We actually have a swim spa vendor this year that is coming, so you can demo a swim spa, bring your swimsuit, hop in there, and you can swim in one of those endless type of pools where you just paddle until you're done. I'm
almost afraid I'm going to hit the back wall. I'm not going to be fast enough.
I'm sure I would. We try to build in some fun activities. So it's not just walking from booth to booth. It's doing that and, getting, maybe working a little sweat up while you're there. So.
Well, and the area where this is in, it's St. Charles County, right next to one of the things we just mentioned, which is the Katy Trail.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So it all gets back to being part of that community and that trail system that has a lot of opportunity in this community. And we've really done a lot of good things in this community. We don't get a lot of credit for it, but they're always working on even more and more things in this area.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And, a little, you heard it first here, maybe next year, we're talking about doing a race around the expo as well. So perhaps a 5K or 10K on the morning of the expo, and then, come on in and get your after race snacks and beer or whatever it might be at the expo.
That's a good location for it too, really.
It is a good location. Yeah. That won't be until 2025, but let's hope that works out.
Yeah. Well, my son just ran the Cowbell Marathon, his first marathon over the weekend. So,
fantastic.
We'll have to tell him to start working on it. So,
well, if he can run a marathon, he could run a 5K.
Well, he would do the 10 because he said that you can't run half the race. So,
okay. Gotcha.
So, all right. So the expo, that's a big deal coming up and really highlighting all the great things that are in our area. And that's really what Terrain is all about. So, Brad, thanks for coming in, sharing a little bit about what the cool things we got going on, and really appreciate it, man. Keep doing good work.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
So get out there, enjoy the great things we have to offer in this region, in the St. Louis area. Man, there are a ton of great trail systems, great ways to get out and enjoy the community we're a part of. We don't hear about it all the time in the St. Louis area, but there are a ton of great ways to get out there and enjoy what this great community has to offer. And there's a lot of great groups. Connect with Terrain. Take a look at what they've got to offer. This is a great publication that gives you the ability to see all the different things right here in our own backyard. You can go to their website, get the digital edition of the magazine, terrain-mag.com. That's terrain-mag.com. You can sign up and get that newsletter. You can get it electronically right there, or you can actually check out the list they have right there on their website of all the different places that have their magazine in stock. And I always have a copy of it here at the office as well. I always make sure that I keep that on there. But there are a ton of places that offer this magazine. It is free of charge. You will not be charged the checkout fee to go get this magazine. It's a resource that is available for our public, and you can get all kinds of great information about running, cycling, hiking, climbing trails, water activities, all right here in the St. Louis community, and ways to get out there and enjoy this great community we're a part of. Brad's a good buddy of mine, and it is really cool to see the things that he's been able to accomplish to spread the word and stay active in this region. So check it out, terrainmagazine.com. Go to that expo that is over here and in St. Charles in November, and I think you can get a lot of great information right there as well. Okay, Brad, great story, great guy, and get out there, stay active.
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper.
So every time I talk to my friend Brad, I always think about all the different cool things we have to offer in this area. It makes me realize just how many things I don't know about and where I can find a different way to enjoy this community we're a part of. It's crazy. We don't hear about it a lot, and it's unfortunate, but the community is actually doing a lot of cool things to make sure we have the ability to get active and stay active. And it's crazy. There's actually an economic impact on these kinds of things as well, and you don't talk about that very much either. You just don't hear that kind of stuff on the news. But there are some really cool communities that are built around trails and parks, right? We're all familiar with the Riverwalk out, right? The San Antonio area. Like, so many cool things that have taken place just based on what's going on and what's being built around a community and the vibrant activity it brings to life. Brad talked a little about what happened over in Indianapolis when they built the trail system out there and how it just all of a sudden became a really nice area. Connecting areas and communities through trail systems for cycling and for walking and hiking and all of these kinds of things adds value. It's where people want to be. And it's because at the end of the day, humans want to stay active. We want to enjoy the value of being a part of a community, and we want to be healthy. We do. We want to see things. We want to do things. We want to be connected. And it doesn't always want to have to be in cars, right? We don't have the best transportation systems in this area to go downtown and do these things in a very easy way. We have to do that a lot of times in cars. It would be really neat if we could figure out a way to connect these systems. And there are things being worked on in this area. It takes time. It takes time and it takes dedication, and it is costly, but there is economic benefit that takes place with it as well. There's a lot of communities that are built within park systems, right? Cottleville, right here in the St. Charles County area, it is kind of a subdivision area built under a park type of a theme, right? It's a little golf cart community. It's kind of cool, right? There's a lot of little communities like that popping up in the area because it's becoming more and more important to have that concept of wanting to be a community that is engaging, but also kind of a nice, fun environment where you can get out there and enjoy the outdoor activities. And fortunately, there are organizations like Terrain that are trying to connect the dots, get people connected to make sure people enjoy that lifestyle we all deserve. It's not always about the financial side of it, right? We want to make sure we're part of that community. Finances help. Finances help fund things. Finances help fund your life. Finances help fund your goals. But ultimately, your goal isn't to save money. Your goal isn't to spend money, right? Your goal isn't to accumulate wealth just to, grow interest. Those are things that are nice, right? But most people's goals are, you know what? I want to retire. I want to retire and live my life comfortably. I want to retire and, take my kids on a memorable vacation each year. Spend some more time with my grandchildren, right? Travel more. Those are the things that are important. Get out there and enjoy that stuff. Those things are the memories are what we take with us. They outlive us. And that's really always my message when I talk to people. It's about what are we trying to do? What are our goals? Because our goal isn't to save. Our goal is to retire and live comfortably and have the fun life we deserve. Doesn't have to be stressful. Yes, we want returns. Yes, we want to be in the investment side of things. Sure, we want to guarantee a protection of some of our income and all those great things. Investments fund those goals, but they're not our goal. Okay, they're not our goal. Our goal is to live and enjoy the lifestyle, maybe provide a legacy, maybe make sure our family's taken care of. Those are all subset goals. They can be accomplished with the right strategy, funded by the right vehicles. Absolutely. But before we get into funding of what those objectives are and the investment approach and all that stuff, you have to stop and ask the question, what am I wanting to do with my life? How do I want to enjoy things? And we have so many cool things to do right here in this community. And most of them, they can cost some money, but a lot of them are free. We can do things in this area to get outside, get out there and hike. Great trails in this area. Great trails. Nice pair of running shoes, nice pair of hiking shoes. Not that much. You can get into some really expensive hobbies too. I'm a cyclist. You can buy a really expensive bike, folks. It's crazy. You can, but you don't have to. When you really get into it, you start getting excited. You start really getting into it. You start spending some money on it. Yeah, that's a hobby. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. Get out there, enjoy the community, enjoy what we have to offer, and enjoy the lifestyle you deserve. Let finances fund your fun. And that's really what Serenity is all about.
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.